Arctic is heating up like never before. A frozen front line is now at the center of a global power struggle. Donald Trump sets a deadline for Greenland. And Europe is pushing back. The political temperature is boiling across Europe as 8 EU nations, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland find themselves in the crosshairs of the US president. Trump threatens punishing import taxes, 10% soon rising to 25% until, in his words, the United States can buy Greenland. The move has left Europe fuming. French President Emmanuel Macron unleashed a fiery rebuke. In a post on X, Macron said that France is committed to the sovereignty and independence of nations in Europe and elsewhere. He said it is on this basis that we support and will continue to support Ukraine, and that we have built a coalition of the willing for a robust and lasting peace to defend these principles and our security. Macron added that it is due to the same principles that we decided to take part in the exercise organized by Denmark and Greenland. We fully assume this decision because security in the Arctic and at the outer edges of our Europe is at stake. The French president cleared that no intimidation or threat will influence us. He also added that tariff threats are unacceptable and have no place in this context. Europeans will respond in a united and coordinated manner. The message is clear from the European Union. No intimidation, no threats, no exceptions. Ursula von der Leyen, European Commission President, took a veiled but sharp jab at Trump. During the signing of Mercosur deal, she called for fair trade over tariffs.
So today in this room we are signing an important document. It is basically the symbol of a new partnership between Mercosur and Europe. And this deal has been in the making since 25 years. Many hands have worked tirelessly. It has survived changes of government. It has survived a great many meetings. And we all know it took a final push right to the last moment to bring all this together here today. We are creating the largest free trade zone in the world. We are creating a market of 700 million people, and a GDP of almost 20% of the global GDP is being traded here. This is phenomenal. And this agreement sends a very strong message to the world. It reflects a clear and deliberate choice. We choose fair trade over tariffs. We choose a productive, long-term partnership over isolation. And above all, we intend to deliver real and tangible benefits to our people and our businesses. We are creating a platform to work on a range of global issues, from protecting our precious natural environment to proposing much more dynamic and unleashing our competitiveness, to the reform of global institutions. We will join forces like never before, because we believe that this is the best way to make our people and our countries prosper. And when two regions like ours speak with one voice on global issues, the world will be listening.
Today, what is necessary is not conflict, but peace. What is necessary is not conflicts between countries, but cooperation. What is fundamental is to always defend international law, wherever it may be. If Russia invades Ukraine, we must stand up to defend territorial integrity, sovereignty, and international law in Ukraine. If human rights are violated in Venezuela, we must stand up to defend human rights in Venezuela. If we want prosperity, we have to open markets and not close them. We have to create zones of economic integration and not increase tariffs.
If Trump's Greenland dream sees the light of the day, it will change the geopolitics of the region forever. A region rich in natural minerals is crucial for security for both the US and Europe. It is an autonomous territory of Denmark, which is also a NATO member and close to the US. But Trump has repeatedly insisted that he will settle nothing less than the ownership of the island. On January 17th, Trump unleashed his favorite tariff bomb on the EU nations for posing a roadblock in his dream of Greenland's takeover. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said additional 10% import taxes would take effect on February 1st on goods from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, and those tariffs would increase to 25% on June 1st and would continue until a deal was reached for the US to purchase Greenland. Trump has repeatedly said Greenland is vital to US security because of its strategic location and has not ruled out using force to take it. This resulted in European nations sending military personnel to the island at Denmark's request this week. The countries named by Trump have also warned that the US military seizure of a territory in NATO could collapse the military alliance that Washington leads. Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen, in a statement, said the president's announcement comes as a surprise. Rasmussen added that Copenhagen agrees with the US to more in the Arctic, which is no longer a low-tension area now. In an unusual blunt warning, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned Trump's threat, saying that his country would raise the issue directly with Washington. Greenland, once a remote, frozen outpost, now a flashpoint that could rewrite global geopolitics. The Arctic is no longer cold. It is on fire at the moment.
U.S. President Donald Trump has set a June 1, 2026 deadline for what he calls a complete and total U.S. takeover of Greenland, escalating rhetoric that has sparked huge panic among America's European and NATO allies. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said the United States would sharply increase tariffs on Denmark and several European countries if no deal is reached by that date. Trump framed Greenland as critical to U.S. and global security, citing rising geopolitical competition with China and Russia.
Well, we're going to see NATO has been dealing with us on Greenland. We need Greenland for national security very badly. If we don't have it, we have a big hole in national security, especially when it comes to what we're doing in terms of the Golden Dome and all of the other things. We have a lot of investments in military. We have got the strongest military in the world, and it's only getting stronger. And you saw that with Venezuela. You saw that with the attack on Iran, with the knocking out their nuclear capability potentially. So, yeah, we're talking to NATO.
President Donald Trump said Saturday that he would charge a 10% import tax starting in February on goods from 8 European countries because of opposition to U.S. control of Greenland. He said in a social media post that Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland would face the tariff, which would be raised to 25% on June 1st if a deal is not in place for the complete and total purchase of Greenland by the United States. Trump said the United States has long subsidized Denmark and other European Union countries by not imposing tariffs and argued it is time for Denmark to give back. He claimed China and Russia seek influence over Greenland and asserted that only the United States can protect the territory. Trump said Denmark and 7 other European nations, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland have recently engaged with Greenland, calling the situation dangerous and unsustainable. Earlier, hundreds of people in Greenland's capital braved near-freezing temperatures, rain, and icy streets to march in a rally on Saturday in support of their own self-governance in the face of threats of an American takeover. The Greenlanders waved their red and white national flags and listened to traditional songs as they walked through Nuuk's small downtown. Some carried signs with messages like, "We shape our future," "Greenland is not for sale," and "Greenland is already great." They were joined by thousands of others in rallies across the Danish kingdom. The rallies occurred hours after a bipartisan U.S. congressional delegation in Copenhagen sought to reassure Denmark and Greenland of their support following U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to punish countries with tariffs if they don't back the administration's stance that the United States should take control of the strategic Arctic island.